everyone, this is Gladys, and I wanted to come on here and chat with you about this card which keeps coming up in my readings in the last 2 months. It's been coming up, and it talks about, as you can see, feeling outside of something, or feeling like an outsider, or feeling unworthy. And I thought I should address it. I'd like to chat and see what comes up for the collective. I'll do a collective reading, see what the main theme of our message is for all of us. And then you can choose from the white feather, the blue feather, or the pink one. That reading will speak, hopefully, specifically to your issue and your question. So that's what it will be. So let's move on to the collective. Wow, this is so interesting. So we have our little baby there, the kiddie that wants to be part of the party or feels like they are constantly on the outside. Here, with the Ten of Wands, it's such a card of taking on too much of the burden. So partly what this suggests is some of us might feel our outsiderness might be because we find it really hard to ask for help. And sometimes that's all that's needed. For some of us, this outsiderness with the Ace of Swords is about us needing to cut certain things off, cut certain people out of our lives or situations out of our lives, because our outsiderness is real. We are being left on the outside. And with the Eight of Cups, it's a similar message. It's saying that, yes, we need to learn to be discerning. Sorry, the Ace of Swords can also speak about not speaking up, right? So this can be very much related to the throat chakra when we don't speak up for ourselves. And that's why it's not to blame us for being on the outside. It's that sometimes people don't know that we are in need. But also, it can be people taking us for granted because we don't speak up. We don't speak up for ourselves. So you might be dealing with that issue. But with the Eight of Cups here, there's a definite guidance to walk away from the things that don't serve you. Some things simply require us speaking up for ourselves, and others require us walking away from those things that are not fulfilling us. Those things that are now bringing our spirits down, there's a need to walk away from. So now I'm going to move on to your options. Option 1 will be this pink feather. Option 2 will be this white feather, and option 3 will be the blue feather. And so if you're on TikTok, you will have to look for part 2, part 3, part 4 of this video. I'm not used to TikTok, so I don't know how it will work out, but you can look for it if you are interested. So option 1, pink feather people. Let's see what your guidance is. Beneath the deck here, I just saw the Three of Swords, and I think that for you, pink feather, there's been a lot of you've experienced some betrayal, but I think you are healing from that. You're learning to let go of the swords, this betrayal energy. And I think the reason you've gone through this is so that you can start seeing the Emperor in yourself. The Emperor is in charge of their shit. They are in charge of their business. They're in charge of they are taking a leadership role in some area of their lives, whether it's their home life or in a work situation. You maybe have always seen yourself as not the leader, the person doing the bidding, but I think that your guidance here and why this maybe has happened, why you've felt like an outsider, is that you were being called to more of a leadership role. and to learn to harness your power and see this divine masculine energy within yourself. The Emperor does represent the divine masculine archetype. Let's see more. There is this maybe fear, and that's okay. Just fear is a normal thing. Fear of change, fear of taking up responsibility, fear that we might not be good enough. Just confront that fear. Fear is also a great teacher. It just helps us grow, you know. So there might be fears, and there might can also be a deceptive energy, like maybe you have experienced quite a lot of betrayal. So go careful with yourself. Be gentle on yourself. Well, I like that the moon shows up, because the moon in this deck is so beautiful. It talks about working with water and working with the moon. So it's so, the elements are so powerful as support, as our support, you know. So embrace the element of water and work with the moon. And by that, you can just sit under a full moon, or sit under and just chat with the moon, for goodness sake, you know, and see what happens for you. It sounds crazy, but those actions, because the moon is so big, the water is so big, and in fact the water and moon work together, right? But because they're such huge, they're so vast, they're so mysterious, just sitting under and appreciating them, sitting under the moon or sitting and watching the ocean, yeah, you can't help but get a sense of peace and maybe some guidance. Okay. So we get isolation. This is the Three of Swords, and it does talk about heartbreak. So I think that for the pink feather, you are needing to confront how these betrayals have made you feel. Don't sweep them under the carpet. Rather look at them and own them and try to find ways of healing, whether that's seeking a therapist, whether it's writing your feelings, working with the moon. It can be a whole combination of things, and maybe that's also why the moon has come up. You have, this is stress, which is the Seven of Wands. It talks about needing to stand up for yourself. So perhaps that's part of your taking ownership and becoming this emperor. Maybe up to now you have just rolled over and played dead and let people walk all over you. So I think it's time for you to start standing up for yourself, pink feather. And with the mind here, there is this element of you staying stuck in your mind. And you know what I'm getting here is that it's like you turn other people's beliefs about you into truth, and you take it on as your truth. You don't have to do that. It's time for you to turn that around now. And I think one of the ways to do that as well, amongst all these others, is to work with pink, wear pink as much as you can. Surround yourself with this pink light, and feel that energy. It's about self-love. For you, there's a lot of self-love and self-talk that you need to do, because I think there has been too much of other people's talk that has governed how you feel about yourself. You've got two of the same cards as the pink feather. And immediately before the Emperor even came out, I thought that your issue is about self-worth. It's about you not honoring yourself enough, not showing yourself enough love, not being your own Queen of Cups. I think there might be an element of harsh words having been spoken to you, that you've experienced some harshness around you. With the Queen of Cups, that's the same kind of thing, you know. And this Emperor that keeps showing up, I think, is saying that for people who've come here, and for the reason I've been drawn to this reading, I think, is that you are being guided to take charge now And taking charge can be in standing up for yourself. It can be in acknowledging this divine masculine energy within you. Doesn't matter who you are. You might have grown up as and in a masculine body, and grown up as a man, and see yourself even as a macho man. But there's an element of your divine masculine that is needing to come out now, this positive divine masculine. What that means is speaking up for yourself, taking charge of situations. It doesn't have to be bullying, because the emperors come up in the upright. It's the opposite of that. It's standing up to bullies if there are bullies around you. So whoever you are, there is this need for the divine masculine to show themselves. For some of you, I think you have experienced a lot of this bullying energy around you, and it's depleted you of your emotional reserves. It's made you feel unlovable and unworthy, and also feel like you cannot even speak up for yourself. So let's see. Well, there's a new beginning here for you. You are being asked to trust. There's some huge change with the Ten of Swords here, like something ending. It's the worst of this negative stuff. So what I'm seeing here is that you've been torn in two different ways. Like, I think you've been stuck in a situation where you've been bullied, where you have felt unloved, and where you felt like you couldn't speak up for yourself. And I think that this reading is heralding, if you will allow it, the end of this time of betrayal. It's time, I think, for you to stop dithering now and saying, should I, shouldn't I? It's like you've caught yourself in between two places, and the only way now is to let go and trust that you will be protected. You'll fall on the soft clouds. So there's some element of needing to trust now, especially here with the Fool. Definitely you are being called to let go of something, dear White Feather group, and trust. I'm going to draw one more card for you. So I think the way I'm seeing it here is that you have been in a situation, and it might be to do with a particular person, where the situation is eroding your sense of self. It's making you feel lesser than, it's making you feel unworthy. And so I really feel strongly the guidance is to let go now, let go of this burden, and take on this energy of take charge of a situation. But there's also an element of letting go. So taking charge is you making a decision, owning your worth and saying, no, I'm ready to jump now. And that's what you're being guided to do. And here with the Four of Cups, it's like a moment. I feel like a moment, like an offer being made by Spirit to you to say, do you want 4 cups, the 3 cups that are full of air, or do you want this big cup that's offered from Spirit, that promises something beautiful, as promises you a new beginning where you love yourself, where you see yourself as worthy, and where you will no longer accept bullying, having your voice cut off, not feeling like you can express yourself, feeling lesser than, and feeling betrayed. It's time for that to end now, and open your heart to this new beginning. Yeah, I think that's it for you, group 2, White Feather group. I hope this helps you. So, Blue Feather group, welcome back. I'm a Capricorn, and this is the card of Capricorn. It's the Devil. There's nothing wrong with the Devil. It's such a great teacher. But in the reverse, what it is saying is you are now, have been in some kind of destructive situation or relationships that have been destructive for you. Like, I see this offer, but the offer is not real, and it's time for you to walk away from destructive relationships that they might be disguised as good ones, that are there for you. I'm offering you something. Why don't you want to take it? So think about that. If an offer is too good to be true, or if deep down you can feel that this doesn't feel right, just trust yourself, trust your intuition, because it's guiding you away from that. So something in your life right now needs you to walk away, dear hearts. And it's like walking away to something that is more delightful. There's something innocent, more innocent about this Knight of Wands, like playful. But also this Knight of Wands can be about, for some of you, this devil energy is playing out as someone who is not consistent, or something that's not consistent in your life. It keeps coming in and out. Let me get one more to clarify that. Let's see. Seven of Swords. Yeah, so if things don't feel right, it's time for you to walk away from them. Seven of Swords is this sneaky energy. It's sneaky, it's games being played, it's winner take all, it's that kind of thing. So it's time for you to see those things for what they are, and walk away from those things that are hurting you, that cause you to be in your head, that make you like go round and round in circles. Yeah. I love this. I love this, love this, love this. So you get breakthrough, which is the Tower. This is the Tower in the traditional tarot. It's about, maybe you are in a situation where you've built something for a long time. You've built something and you're afraid to let it fall. Could be old friendships, old lovers, old jobs. But it's somehow this card is saying something is falling apart, or will fall apart, or is in the process of coming down. Some structure is coming down. That can be a job, it can be a relationship. And it's kind of, you are being asked to, this is the Four of Swords, to accept where things are. See, this person is grayed out, but in the where they are looking, it's there's beautiful colors, there's hope, there's optimism, and it's almost like saying that, especially with this card here, trust in the present moment. Trust in the present moment. Firstly, take time out to be still. I know I say this a lot, take time out to be still, but it's so important to find time to just be still. Sometimes even just listening to the crickets and the birds, and watching something to do with nature, watching animal programs, or drifting on a cloud. Imagine yourself drifting on a cloud. All those things help you just be quiet and still. And that's what you're being guided to. And more importantly, to see the next step of your journey as an adventure. It's like doing this, in fact, this also feels to me like allowing whatever pain you feel, accept your feelings, accept them, and let them flow through you, but just try to see the journey as an adventure, rather than it's not something, I said this the other day, happening to you. It's something that's happening for you. But I see here for you, Blue Feather, huge change taking place. And I don't think it's bad change. I firmly believe it's change that's taking place in your favor. It's a time for you to do a stock take and say, okay, these things that are toxic, I walk away from. And however slowly you walk away, that's your business. It's fine. But it's like making that decision to allow this structure that's not being built on a strong foundation to fall now, and to trust in your journey. Look at this little being here, the sweet being is walking with innocence, walking towards the light with innocence. It's like, I will do this step by step. I will go, I will be guided step by step, and I will trust. There's a lot of trust here, a whole lot of trust that is required on the next steps. But I think it's a beautiful journey. So take this time out and also do that. Just keep telling yourself, there's this quote that comes to me now: life is not a problem to be solved, but a journey to be lived, which is really lovely. So let me get one more for you. This is the moon, but it says past lives. I think this is saying trust in the guidance, trust in your ancestors, trust that you have so much behind you, so much experience, so much that is backing you. There's this whole team backing you as you walk towards your new rainbow world, your world that's filled with rainbows, walking towards the rainbows, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But it requires this trusting attitude. Trust and wonder.